know who Sammy Lee is, right? And I stupidly, and I've told this 100 times, I'll put my hands up to this, Stu, I stupidly said, just tell him it's Sammy Lee.
You told me just, yeah, I can imagine it's quite sensitive for you to talk about. Yeah, if you can, just tell me the names of the men that done this to you. I know it's quite hard to speak about, but I am very interested in what happened, babe.
Hey guys, hope you all had an amazing Halloween. I know I did. But unfortunately, I'm back here tonight with another video regarding the mob. Yes, Mason Fardeau is at his games again. So after a brilliant weekend with the kids and friends and family, enjoying the festive season, I received a notification on YouTube today from an account that seems to be from Mason Fardeau. And it was put under the video I did regarding all the flying monkeys that have been getting involved. So if I go back just briefly, what's been happening. So last Halloween, I was contacted by this woman, Stacey Busher, who was trying to root me into a false sense of security. She was telling me that she was worried about me and that if I needed a shoulder to cry on, she was there for me. Now, I was actually on a way to a friend's party at the time of getting the message, and I thought it was a bit weird. I thought, some crazy random person wanting to be friends. So I kind of just said to her politely, I'm great, thanks, have a happy Halloween. And then a couple of days I looked into it, and it turned out that she was connected to Clark Tribe and Aaron Twin. Now, if you've been following me over the last 8 years, you'll know that Aaron Twin is actually the best mate of the guy that sexually assaulted me in 2018 whilst we were making the Roofied film. Once I realised who Stacey Busher was, I told her exactly that I knew who she was, and how dare she. She then went on to post a status on her Facebook tagging Mason Fardeau, a lady called Charlene Aldridge, and Clark Tribe. In this post, she was threatening to kill me and break my neck and enticing a whole load of strangers into the drama. Now, a few months before that, I had been contacted by a lady called Cookie Greenwood. Her real name is actually Claire Greenwood. She was posing as a producer for a company called Women in Film. She basically told me that she could make my dreams come true if I came to work with her. I looked at the website after I noticed there was a lady called Nicole Faraday, who was actually in the ITV production of Bad Girls. I also know Nicole Faraday knows Clark Tribe and was working on the drugs game at the time. So I told Cookie Greenwood, Claire Greenwood, my concerns, and she basically sent me this voice note.
Just, yeah, I can imagine it's quite sensitive for you to talk about. Yeah, if you can, just tell me the names of the men that done this to you. I know it's quite hard to speak about, but I am very interested in what happened, babe.
You see, she was pretending not to know these people and basically trying to get information about my rape. It turns out she's actually working on Mason Fardeau's new film, and she was also involved with Clark's film, The Drugs Game. She's also friends with Stacey Busher, who is connected to Aaron Twin. So since I found out all these connections and who these people are and told them I know who you are, I've been basically screenshotting anything that I get told is about me. Now, unfortunately for Mason and Clark, there are a lot of people online that follow them as well as me. So anytime somebody puts a status up about me, I get told. I also get screenshots. As most of you know, a couple of years ago, there was a boxer called Decker Heggie who was suffering with a lot of trolling due to the Humble Dryer account. It was a man called John Wason with his partner Donna. I was being accused of being the troll until about a year later, it came out. John Wason admitted he'd set me up. Me and Decker sorted things out. He knows that I wasn't anything to do with it now. And that all got cleared up.
Stupidly, and I've told this 100 times, I'll put my hands up to this, Stu, I stupidly said, just tell him it's Sammy Lee.
But for some reason, some of these people, i.e. Cookie Greenwood and Stacey Busher and Aaron Twin, they're all connected to the UK BK boxing. And that's where a lot of these women seem to stem from. Basically, they're lonely old souls, middle-aged women that don't have much of a life, that literally get excitement out of getting some sort of attention from Clark and Mason, and they're willing to do anything for them. Now, Stacey Bushaw even said this in a post a few years ago. Apparently, Clark Tribe's so good looking he can get away with anything. Sounds a bit Maxine Carrish to me. Now, if I was these women, I'd be questioning, why are these men slagging this girl off? Why are these men, after all these years, trying to get me to go after her? Why are they doing that? You know, it just seems very narcissistic, and that is exactly what I'm dealing with. This is narcissistic abuse. Now, Mason has it in his head that I destroyed Clark's film. I wasn't on Clark's film. He really believes that I have the power to leave a few reviews, bad reviews, and I have the power to destroy someone's film. I haven't even watched Clark's film, and I haven't left any reviews because I don't know what the film's about. And genuinely, as a filmmaker, I wouldn't be so rude. At the end of the day, for anyone to get a film out there is amazing. Was the fact he knew what Aaron had done to me, and he decided to team up with Aaron after I was sexually assaulted. Now, some people have come to me and told me that Aaron actually knew Clark before I was assaulted. I don't know if that's true or not, so I can't put that out there. But the fact is, I don't care anymore. I got myself away from a really bad group of people. And like I say, when I read the comments with Mason slagging me off and telling all these lies about me, it just goes to show the guy just hasn't gotten over it. It was 8 years ago, and he's literally still trying to smear campaign me, doing Clark's dirty work, really. And this was later confirmed by their friend Charlene Aldridge, who was also an actress on The Drugs Game. Now, at first, she seemed to be engaging in the bullying online. She then came out with a video that confirmed everything I'd already knew. I just couldn't prove it. And the video was basically stating that she'd never spoken to me, she didn't know me, and the only reason she knew of me was because when she worked on the Drugs Game set, there were people on the set telling her to block me because I was a vile person.
You're having all these arguments with other people, Sammy, but yet not once did you ever message me about it and ask me. Yes, I commented on someone's status, right, get it right, status, not a group chat, that, oh, is she at it again? Yeah, I had to block her too. Because I was made aware of beef you had with someone else that I worked with that had absolutely nothing to do with me.
So this is a typical narcissistic conversation. I was accused of messaging Charlene by Stacey Bushaw. She was ranting at me for messaging her friend Charlene.
About anyone else, all you done was message Charlene.
Charlene is here in the video saying she's never spoken to me, and the only reason she knows of me is because people were slagging me off, and she decided to block me because of what other people said. This is a perfect example of the flying monkey. So like I say, it confirmed everything I already knew. Charlene has since seemed to be staying out of things. I think she may have seen some of my videos and realised that this is a lot deeper than Mason and Clark were first letting her know of. Obviously, they're only going to tell their side to the story to get people to do their dirty work. And the same with Stacey Bushaw. They seem to just now be liking anything that Mason puts up about me, and trying to entice some of the other people that I didn't quite get on with on Roofed. At the end of the day, in life, you're never going to get on with everybody. That's why everybody's so different. And I saw something in these people 8 years ago that worried me and gave me concerns. And I was right. I ended up learning a big lesson in the most horrible way, that these people were not my friends. And since I've spoken up about what they did to me and what my experiences have been, they literally say I'm playing victim. They try and say I'm a troublemaker. They call me a troll. They think by me telling you guys what I experienced and how I've suffered, that is making their lives hell. Well, at the end of the day, these narcissists have to realize that back in the day, yeah, you could manipulate your victims, you could gaslight, but now we're living in a social media age where there is cameras and screenshots and video footage. I think you just need to move on, let it go. If you think that the Clark Tribe's film was destroyed, then that's your opinion. I actually think you were pretty successful getting it on Amazon. I know how hard it is to get films on Amazon. It's what I do. And I think that's also where Mason doesn't realise is that I have a camera, I do the DOP, I do the sound, I do the editing, and I also have the connection to get my film on Amazon. It's me that does the SRT files and all the photographic work to get the films on. You know, it's not just as simple as going to Amazon and saying, stick my movie on. There's things you have to do in the process of doing that. And over the last 8 years, that's what I've been learning as a filmmaker, is not only be an actress in a film, I wanted to learn what goes on behind the camera. So over the last 7 years, I've been learning the producing side to filmmaking. And now I have my own registered production company and I have access to Amazon Direct. I can actually put people's films on Amazon. He needs to just literally go off, enjoy your own journey through this, because this is what it is. Making films for me is a hobby. It's not my main source of income. So it's really like trying to defame me and trying to turn people against me and stuff on social media. It's really pathetic and childish. And I think the more they do and the more I show, that's becoming quite apparent. Now, the trolling started for me in 2018 by the guy that raped me. He wasn't trolling me to start with, he was harassing me. In the end, because he wouldn't leave it, I had to go to the police. Then the story was aired on the Jeremy Kyle show during a rape investigation. I had evidence, recordings of the police telling me that evidence had gone missing from my file. And I recorded the police because I felt that they weren't investigating it as well as they could. I've lately found out that a lot of covering up was done just so that they didn't even have to go to the CPS. The police first told me that my case had actually gone to the CPS and that I had to wait and for the CPS to make a decision. 9 months later, we wrote to the CPS and the CPS told me that the police had never forwarded my case. So we then went for a review. This took 1.5 years to get to the bottom of it. And yeah, unfortunately, my rapist ended up walking free. He's not contacted me personally, but yeah, Aaron Twin, his best mate, was on podcasts about 1 year ago, basically trying to convince people that I was lying about the rape. I managed to prove that Aaron was in fact lying because he said something about him sticking up for Stacey straight away, and I had evidence of him actually being on set, dated and timed, and it was after I had accused Stacey of doing what he'd done. So yeah, literally I kind of proved that Aaron and Stu Armstrong from the UKBK boxing were in cahoots with this humble dryer. And then Humble Dryer admitted to setting me up for the trolling.
But you know
so I managed to sort
Sammy
all
Lee
that
is,
out,
right?
and
I stupidly, and I've
well,
told this
so
100 times, I'll put my hands up to
it all
this,
went
Stu. I
away for a
stupidly
little
said,
while.
just tell him it's Sammy.
And then I had a load of shit from this guy, Chris Smith, who I've recently sued through the High Court. He was literally stealing my film, putting a different title to it, trying to steal the contacts on IMDb for the film. And now he spends his days, the only way he can get back at me is by putting up silly pictures of me with not very nice things written across it. Or he sets up fake accounts pretending to be me and trolls people so they think it's me. I have had a few people message me, is this you? And we've kind of like, no, it's not me. But unfortunately, people like Clark and Mason are choosing to believe. I said to my best mate, they either honestly believe that it's me trolling or they're in on it. And I'd say more they're in on it, because if you look at these messages from Mason, Boxing Day, we had actually sorted things out. by the end of the conversation, he was giving me arm strong emojis and sending me kisses. And then the next day I said to him about more trolling that had happened, and he was aware of what I was going through. I mean, I've had rape threats, kidnap threats. It got awful. And there's a lot of people that follow me on social media that know exactly how awful it's been over the last 8 years. So Mason is telling his crowd one little % of the story, when in fact, if you actually go on my YouTube channel and look at the Narcissistic Abuse channel, you will see all the evidence of everything I've had to put up with over the last 8 years. So for Mason to be a member of the Gentleman series on Netflix, to be a professional actor, as he says, who was paid 30 grand by Guy Ritchie for the part, this is what he wanted to tell me Christmas morning, that he was better than me and always would be, and more successful than I would ever be. He just seems like a, well, not very professional actor in my eyes. But like I said, it's narcissistic abuse. These narcs will pretend to be a gentleman in front of the crowd, and then choose their victim, their supply, their target, whatever you want to call it, and that target will see a completely different side. Hence why I'm showing this side with you guys, because I am not going to have this man who met me for all of an hour 8 years ago go around telling people things about my life, like I lied about being raped, and that I've had several men done for rape, and that I go around making accusations and allegations against people all the time. You don't know me enough, Mason, to say that. You are just spouting a load of bullshit to get people to listen to your crap. So that when they look at, oh, well, yeah, well, there's a story of Jeremy Clark. Oh, yeah, well, it must be true, Mason. No, what I urge is, if people are really interested, do your homework. Don't just listen to one side of the predator's side of the story, because it's a bullshit, and there is enough evidence out there that proves what they are saying is lies. And that's why I've done it. And if I'm sorry, if that's ruining their life, then so be it. So these messages were sent to me last Boxing Day, and I haven't heard from Mason apart from tonight since this message was sent. So I want to read these messages out to you just so you can see the narcissistic behaviour, mannerisms that I'm having to put up with. So he basically, like I said, messaged me at 9:30 on Boxing Day morning. My children weren't even awake. I'd literally just woke up to make a cuppa, and I was greeted by Mason's rant. So you have to understand that, again, when I was sent this message from Mason on the 26th of December last year, I hadn't seen him in 7 years. So it was pretty shocking to get this kind of message. He said, "You want the truth, Sammy? Here's the truth. There is a pattern in your behaviour that isn't good. You're very narcissistic, jealous of many others in the amateur ranks, disrespectful and a fantasist. Someone like you on mainstream television would be very dangerous. Fact. You're very shallow, and I've never met anyone like you in my lifetime. You ruined innocent, hopeful actors and actresses, telling them that they are ugly and shit. Why? Please be honest. Fact is, you have no idea. It's people like you that drive me to show others that haters can drive you on to be successful. I have had my lucky break, thanks for the vote of confidence. You said I will never make it, like you did. Charlene, Rainey, Clark, Jamie, oh well, he's another one for you to slate. There are many. It's unreal. I've never understood jealousy. Why do you slate others? Is it because you deep down know they are good enough, but you don't want anyone to be outshining you? I'm not being rude. Your acting isn't great in performance, and you have no screen presence, which is key. I'm not being rude, but you have a face for radio. Now go away and have a good look in the mirror, because I have one hater and you have hundreds. Now why is that? Think about it. You are a deterrent for aspiring actors. And me, well, I'm going to inspire others and advise them, no matter who they are, keep watching, keep hating. The things you have done to them, the viral remarks you made, some you don't even know. I so am going to make the world recognise the likes of you. that don't deserve to even be in the amateur student ranks that you are in. Imagine someone saying you're shit, you're old, you're ugly, when no one else agrees with you. That is pure narcissistic behaviour. You're a compulsive liar also. I'm having a blinding Christmas because my hard work is finally paying off nicely. Me, I just love what I do, and I can't stand people like you who hate others for no reason and put people down. Don't bother messaging me again. Take my advice. Have a look at yourself. I'd hate to be you. Wow. Enough said, Sammy. Good luck with your YouTube documentary. Fantasist, boom. Well, I would have been paid 30 grand for my first professional role. Now would I, sausage? And 2% global streaming right. That's how shit I am. Watch and learn. Followed. Means fuck all. Watch, you vile scum. A narcissist is a liar like you, mate. You got caught. I have your vile voice notes. Not once has anyone bullied you, and you go on about you're successful, what you've been in. LOL. Get a life. I've worked with the best productions and best directors, the UK, and directed by the best. So 5k followers. Watch. Good. Fuck off then. Stole your actors. Wow, you really are mad. So after listening to his little rant for about 10 minutes, I then messaged him back in a voice note telling him that it was in fact Aaron, Chris Smith, Stacey and Stu Armstrong that had been causing a lot of trouble with the Humble Dryer accounts, and it was probably them causing him trouble as well. He then went on to say, I deleted that sausage Aaron, whatever his name is. I've no interest but was concerned. But what concerned me was why someone would slate. I've no reason to hate you. Why would I? I just heard what people have said. You've said, to be fair. Sick of all the bollocks in the industry. I keep myself to myself. Clark is my pal. But then I hear Swaley, Extra, and how they are treated as actors in that way. Imagine being slated for your craft. Me, I help others, and many know that. I basically explained to him that when me and Clark first fell out, it was Clark that basically took everybody away and told them to drop out of the Roofed film. I basically went on to make the Drugs Game with quite a few characters that were in the Roofed film, and a lot of the crew were on the first part of the Roofed film. So when I told him this, he said, as for nicking your actors, no, not me. I wasn't part of the production or casting, not my field. But that does happen, I guess. If a character suits the role, they don't have to be the best actor in the room. But again, not my field. I then went on to tell him that people like Jason, Impey, Rainey, and basically the whole crew that came down on the set of Roofed 1, basically were talked around by Clark to leave me, and they were quite good friends. Well, I thought. He then went on to say he didn't have a clue who Jason was, which that's a lie because you were there on set and he was the one filming you that day. Mason obviously didn't pay attention. But he said, I have no clue who this Jason geezer is, never met or spoke to the bloke, and that Aaron twin idiot, not my kind of people. Well, Mason has met Jason. Like I said, he was the DOP that was filming his scenes that day on the Roofed set. So he said, not my kind of people. I may have been many things, but never have I raised my hand or bullied any woman. I've been in trouble for giving someone a slap who did hit a woman. The industry is full of he said, she said. I've never known an industry like it. So as you can see, I said, anyway, my issues with you, I have none. I actually think you're a great actor. I've just had to learn not to let nasty words get to me, and I give it back to people. I was off out for dinner and said, have a good day. He said, likewise, I'm the same. I have no issues. I just do my job. Stand your ground. I said, I've had no choice but to show people what they are doing. If I don't say anything, people will believe it. When this documentary comes out, it will explain everything and show all the connections of how these men work and what they've been doing to me. Little did Mason know at that point that he was actually part of that documentary. The Roofed full documentary basically goes into what happened in the making of that film, the dangers I put myself in as a first-time filmmaker, and basically all the evidence from start to finish of how this all came about. So if you want to watch that, that is on my YouTube channel. It's called the Roofed full documentary. And then, as you can see here, I basically told him that the full version of Roofied was on Amazon. Display names. I wasn't out to hurt or ruin anyone, but I wouldn't stand back and be called a liar by a man who raped me, and I won't be bullied by his mates. I told him my only issues were with Chris Smith, Stu Armstrong, Stacey Fordham, and Aaron Twin at the time. They have created all of this shit, and I won't stop until everyone sees the truth. He gave me a strong arms emoji, and I said all the best. Yeah, I basically posted some more information of the trolling on the 27th of December the next day. He said, oh no, Aaron Twin kind of thing. I said, yeah, the devil himself, just thought I'd send you some more stuff. And he basically called him a rat. Then we carried on talking a little bit further, and he ended the message by giving me a kiss. The next day, he was on Charlene Aldridge's page, slagging me off, calling me a troll, and enticing people to hate on me. And he's been at it since the 27th of December 2023. It hasn't stopped. And the most recent one was last night, where he commented on my YouTube channel trying to give his reasons as to why he feels it's his job to troll me. And tell me how much everybody hates me. So this is why I've come to the conclusion that I am dealing with a narcissist. Manipulation, triangulation, gaslighting, humiliation, lying. It's all in there. And I can't trust this bloke one bit now. I thought on the 26th and 27th of December 23, he'd kind of come around to seeing the shit I've had to put up with. But no, literally the next day, he wasn't telling anyone we'd had this conversation. He was literally going out there smear campaigning in public, enticing complete strangers to hate on me. Luckily, 7 years ago, I was given some advice to screenshot and keep files on everything and everyone involved with this disgusting behaviour. I was getting rape threats, kidnap threats. People were saying they were going to do things to my children, my house, my dog. It just got really out of hand. And at the time, I didn't know where it was coming from. Now, Mason states that I've never been bullied online. I don't know whether he's just saying that as a cover-up or whether he really is not aware. But most of the internet are aware of the humble dryer scenario. Most of the people surrounding Decca know what went on with that. So for him to come to me and say that I haven't been bullied when people have seen all the rape threats and seen the evidence of the police investigation and seen the way that Jeremy Kyle finally showed my abuser to be the liar that I had tried to tell people. I no longer feel like I'm in a place where I have to explain myself. But yeah, Mason's an oddball. I can't explain this one. Like, I've never actually fallen out with this guy, as you saw in the messages earlier to him. And he said that he had no hate for me, yet he's acting up, putting up posts about me and trying to tell people I'm the most vile woman in the world. So yeah, narcissistic abuse, it's the only conclusion I can come to, because there is so much evidence out there on what these guys have been doing to me. The text messages from my attacker the next morning apologising for what he'd done. The podcasts of Aaron going on different podcasts, just basically trying to entice people to hate me and, you know, trying to convince people that I'm a liar. Basically smearing my name in any way that they can. And I managed to show Stu Armstrong out for what he was. Humble Dryer eventually admitted to setting me up, which I am grateful for, but he could have done it a lot quicker. And yeah, like, it's definitely made me see people in a different light. And I'm not as friendly with strangers as I used to be. I used to take people for face value and not judge anyone, but since meeting this lot, yeah, it's really gave me a lesson taught. So yeah, if I'm off with anyone, they have to ask themselves why. I don't appreciate getting catfished and women trying to become my friend to, I don't know what, get information out of me or try and get me somewhere. I don't know what their little plan is, but well, I can say it looks like it's backfired.
You know the score of her. She's a lying slag.
I'll make you fucking take it. That's what I'll do.
Get this on the podcast. She said Stacey raped her in the December.
You said no. Why did you say no?
Telling the truth.
This test says you're a liar, pal.
Because Sammy Lee was loving the attention. She had another movie coming out, and she loves the attention just before a movie.
She's a complete cunt.
Dude, I can roll more fucking boys who don't want to fuck you to fucking smash the shit out of you and your thing.
Want to know who Sammy Lee is, right? And I stupidly, and I've told this 100 times, I've put my hands up to this, Stu, I stupidly said, just tell him it's Sammy Lee.
Yeah, because you want to publicly embarrass or shame or do things or use material, including Sammy's images still, and yet you hate the girl and yet you're using the images to make yourself look famous. Oh, fuck, bruv. Stop making allegations against Sammy.
Listen, you're a dog, a dirty fucking hoe. There's people out there on the fucking YouTube channel. Bitch, get it right. Listen, come for me. I'll tell you where to come.
You tell me, just, yeah, I can imagine it's quite sensitive for you to talk about. Yeah, if you can, just tell me the names of the men that done this to you. I know it's quite hard to speak about, but I am very interested in what happened, babe.
You know, some of their tactics is to muddy someone so no one believes you. I mean, earlier I've seen a post where they were talking to Aaron Twin.
You don't know even a fucking who you're fucking with.
Thanks for listening, guys.